Hello, this is Montrose Makerspace Today for January 19th, 2015. See if I can get this under 5 minutes today. I got a lot of comments on the local story in the paper. I stayed in yesterday, but last week we were in the, the focus section. There's a story in there about the Makerspace, and it occupied the whole page of the B1 in the Montrose Daily Press. This week we're on the front page of the Daily Press with our project of the intersection of art and engineering. So we're getting a lot of exposure from the local papers, and that's a great thing. This is the discussion about the intersection of art and engineering. This is the public arts project we have going on with 75 students here at Montrose High School. I've been going back and forth with Dixon, who's the director over at the Tinker Mill in Longmont. We've been playing phone tag for about 5 days. I want to talk to him about our safety training and find out what kind of information that they have that they can actually share with us so that we don't have to reinvent that wheel, because every makerspace has some kind of safety manuals or safety instructions for their equipment. And so we're going to start that at the Tinker Mill and see what they have. There's Montrose City Council, as well as Virgil Turner and the city manager, went to Kansas City this last week, and they got tours of the CoSpace as well. CoSpaces there, as well as the accelerator programs. So they came back here and they're really pumped up about our makerspace here in Montrose. And Virgil asked if the entire council, as well as some other people, could come over after tomorrow night's city council meeting at 7 o'clock. So of course I said yes. So they're going to come over at some point around 8:30 or 9 and get their first tour of the makerspace. I worked on the 501c3 application and got that kind of finalized. We have 2 more signatures to get, and then that will be ready to get put in the mail. That took me till about 3 o'clock, and what happened at that point? Oh, so we have our first board meeting today at 4. So I went over, and Susan and I set up the tables at the makerspace for the board meeting, and it's a working facility now. There was some production going on, so we had to move into the CAD room, and we got that straightened out. And about the only prep I did for that was I made sure that I brought some cookies along for that, because chances are it was going to go long. And that went on from 3 to 3:30. We got all that set up, and we had a half an hour, and Lynn Vogel showed up. She's a local copper sculptor, and she came in real early on in September with a particular problem that she worked out with Ross on how to ship this very large piece of copper sculpture over to, I think it went over to near Cripple Creek. And so he gave her some ideas on how to actually make the framework to hold this thing, because this particular piece was made out of copper foil, and it was about 6 feet wide by about 4 feet tall, and it was going to be mounted on a curved wall. So Ross and Lynn worked out some arrangements, and it actually changed the way that she did the fabrication, and it was a tremendous success. And so she brought over photographs of the installation, and it really looked nice on this house over there. At 4 o'clock we had our board meeting, and we kind of talked about the current status. This was the first board meeting. Everyone showed up on time, and that was great. It was very productive. We talked about all the activities that have gone on so far and what we actually need to do to get open. And there's so much to do that we decided to kind of curtail all of our getting the word out kind of activities, and just really focus on getting open. I did it for my part on the board prep. I counted all the contacts. We have about 165 people in our contact database, and about 85 of those people are interested in some type of membership. So we're going to redirect our efforts towards contacting those people and getting them informed about where the status is and when we're going to open and what open actually means. The board meeting was supposed to go from 4 to 5:30, and it being the first board meeting, it went a little long. So people were hitting those cookies. I did decide that the next time I'm going to bring some fruit and some vegetables like celery sticks and that kind of thing. The cookies were delicious, but everyone wanted something a little healthier right before dinner. After the board meeting, I met with Scott Stryker and we talked about the lounge upstairs. He gave me some different viewpoints. He's a builder here in town of the space upstairs, and because I always kind of look at the space as being oriented east and west, and he said no, orient it the other way because of the way that the structure is there's exposed steel girders inside the space, and it would work a lot better if you were to go along those lines. And he talked a little bit about the floor and the kitchen area as well as the lounge area. So he's going to keep his eye out for building materials that are recycled from some of his projects to create the conference room setting, and then we'll work out the aspects of the lounge after that. Also, Chuck, who's our big volunteer, Chuck has been in on the Makerspace almost from day one. He was back in town, and he showed up around 5:30 and introduced himself and sat in on the tail end of the board meeting. And at the end of that, he said that he was willing to, as part of his contribution, to go ahead and take over the tours at 7 o'clock. And that's a great thing because it's been pretty taxing for me to work throughout the day and then have dinner and then go back over to the Makerspace at 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So he's going to take over that activity. Chuck is our kind of liaison into the public school system, their school system in general. He's been doing that type of work already before the Makerspace even was an idea that Ross and I kind of, he's been doing it for years, let's just say, since he got a 3D printer and kind of showing kids that it's really cool to be an engineer or a scientist. So the last thing is, I got the camera, came in today. It's a Logitech that I got. It does 1080p, but this is the first video capture that I did on it. It has a different audio setup. I think that it's going to work. It's a really nice little camera, and it was fairly inexpensive. I also got a Tascam portable audio recorder, and we'll be figuring out how to best utilize these two pieces of equipment for these types of things as well as for other activities in the video production facility. So that wraps it up for today. I hope I made it under 5 minutes. I talked really fast, but if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And this is Montrose Makerspace today for January 15th, 2015.